Ice cream, logical cream, flavors.
Let's make a move, get away, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. What you like, get it twice, what's your style? Let's get crazy, let's get lit, let's get wild. Take you out, show you off, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. Anywhere in the world, take you mild. Show me the real, you go and let it out.
Your flavor, vanilla minks on brown cones, rainbow sprinkles on your AP two-tone. I ain't about materials, is habitual for the...
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. We here on 95 South TV once again. You know what I'm saying? First, matter of fact, season 2, episode 1. I want to thank God for this opportunity to be able to come on here and have another great show. If I sound a little off during the episode, I do apologize. I've been dealing with a little slight winter cold, so you know how that go. So I want to introduce my man. You know what I'm saying? Been rocking and rolling with me for like the last 4 years. But man, Jacob the Great, what's going on, fam?
Man, what's good, man? Glad to be in the land of the living, man. A new year, new goals, new opportunities, man, and just trying to take it further than that we have taken it before.
Yeah, sir. I got a funny story before we even get started, man. And I got to tell this story because it was funny to mug to me. So yesterday, man, I was in a Planet Fitness, and I've never taken a shower in a gym before. So I'm in this Planet Fitness, and the way it's set up, I'm usually being like at a truck stop, like a Love's, a Pilot, whatever, taking a shower. And in those things, you get like your own separate bathroom with your shower, your sink, and everything. Do what you got to do. So when I get back to the back, the way they got it set up is like individual showers, but the shower's like in the open locker room area with the bathroom, the lockers, the shower, whatever. So I go in there and I took all my stuff out and, got it laid beside the shower because I'm like, I don't really feel like getting no locker and putting my stuff up and walking me doing all this extra because I'm like, this is weird to me. So I put all my stuff there. I'm taking my shower. All of a sudden, I hear something close to my shower. I'm like, somebody standing outside my shower or something? So I look out, and I see this. It's a guy, a handicapped guy, like you're handicapped. I say autistic because I guess you're supposed to use the word, retarded. So I say autistic. So autistic guy in a wheelchair. He was like a grown man or whatever, and he with his dad. And they just standing there, whatever. They just see he's sitting there. They standing there talking, and then like I open up the curtain, like I'm about to get out the shower, but I'm naked. So he's standing there, and the guy, you know how autistic people, they just, sometimes they probably don't know, but they just looking at you. So he's staring dead at me, and I'm like, oh Lord, this is weird. So I gotta mess around and put my towel on, you know what I'm saying? So I literally gotta stand in the shower, put my lotion on, put my, whatever, and then like probably put my clothes on as I'm standing in the shower, and I get out like once I get like my drawers on and whatever, my shirt, my t-shirt on, then I come out and start trying to get the rest of my stuff. But the whole time he literally just staring at me as I'm getting dressed. It was the weirdest thing in the world. Any other normal person, I'd be like, man, what are you looking at? But in this situation, being I know what I'm dealing with, I couldn't say nothing. I just had to deal with it and finally asked the dad, I said, are y'all waiting on this shower or something? He was like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just like, well, I need to say something or whatever. And then why y'all stood over here? Why y'all couldn't have stood like over by the lockers? And then when I'm done, come over here. I never understood why he pushed them right there in front of my shower waiting. It wasn't like there was no line in there. I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Y'all could have went over there on the other side and then came over here. You know what I mean? Like when I was done, but who literally, and even the dad at some point, you could tell him he kind of looking. And I'm just like, bro, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, really? But I just like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this is crazy, y'all. I just had
man. Oh boy, boy, you already been weirded out, and the year just starting, man. It's crazy.
Man, excuse me, it's my first, and making so bad. It's my first time in a gym taking a shower, and this is my first experience. got to deal with a weird dad and his son. Dog gonna stand in front of my shower like Jason Voorhees.
Man, what the world?
So anyway, man, we're gonna get into it, man. The first topic of the day is we're gonna talk about mental health. And you know, me and you lost well, you knew the person better than I did. I'm not gonna really say the name, but it was somebody that was on our show. And according to what we heard and know about it, what they call it, allegedly, you know, I'm just gonna say allegedly because we don't know the full story yet.
Mm-hmm.
Her boyfriend murdered her in front of her kids, and then
They did. They was able to retest the kind of bring her back, man. Resuscitate her and bring her back. But we thought she was out of here. The story I first got, we thought she was out of here, and then like you said, she was on our show, but you would have kind of never knew what she was going through.
yeah, so they was able to bring her back, resuscitate her, but he attempted to kill her. And the crazy part about it is he ended up, you know, killing his own self in the process, from what we understand.
Right.
So, you know, by going on a high speed chase with the police. So, you know, that's the irony of it all, is that you attempted one thing, you failed because God wasn't ready for her to leave, and you ended up taking your own life based off of your decisions. And a lot of this is, you know, you could probably call it mental health. You know what I mean? A mental health situation. You know what I mean?
But it's way more to the story, man. It's way more to the story. You know, and information I'm gathering, you know, what happens to a man mentally and emotionally when he get exposed for being on the down low, and the woman he with find out. Oh
Yeah,
my, oh
yeah,
my.
yeah. And you know, and my thing is this: even if that's the case, and this brother was a down low brother, or whatever the case may be, was it worth? You know, was it? And even you know how women are. They sometimes when they get hurt in a relationship, and you know they get a little vindictive and get whatever, and you know who's to say she would have exposed him? She might have, you know, just was saying it in the heat of anger. And then if she did, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, that's something you just got to deal with and move forward. Like we're in 2025, right? At this point, at that point, 2024, who really cares who is homosexual and who's not? You know what I mean? Nobody really. Initial shock may mess people up, but who's really gonna care in the grand scheme of things if you're homosexual or not? You know what I mean? Or whatever you dealing with, you dealing with it. But is it worth losing your life over your whatever? Like yesterday, I heard it was a story that you know our homegirl Tiffany I seen on her page, and I read up on it. The MARTA bus driver in Decatur, Georgia, got murdered over $2.50. Guys get on the bus, didn't want to pay the fee, and they shot and killed him right there on the bus. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I don't know what's going on with these guys with this mental health. Now you're gonna be sitting in a jail cell at some point thinking to yourself, I'm in jail for life over $2.50. Like really? like that'll make me want to kill myself right there. If I realize, oh damn, I'm doggone in jail over $2.50 for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, you know what I mean, I don't know what's going on. If it's a chemically imbalanced thing. I don't know if it's a way to keep people raised these days. I don't know what it is that makes people push themselves to the brink of wanting to kill themselves or kill somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. I just know, man, with this domestic violence, whole mental health thing, man, it's really gotten out of hand, man, to the point, man, that Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina are top 10 in domestic violence. It's crazy, man.
I would have never thought that, because think about it. Most people in the South, most people think of the South as being a gentlemanly, you know, like a lot of gentlemen and hospitable. I guess you could say size of the country that people look at us as real hospitable, respectful, things of that nature. So I wouldn't have thought North Carolina, South Carolina would be top 10. I would have thought, I guess we have to look at this. I would have thought more like up north, California, Florida. I would have thought Florida. Definitely, I would have thought Florida.
Well,
Florida ain't right.
Well, the thing about the mentality, man, is you gotta realize even back from the times of when the slavery days, and then when you had the civil rights movement, man, people still had that syndrome and that mindset of the Jim Crow and the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you in a relationship and husband and wife, or whatever you want to call it, man, is the man is superior, and if you don't do what he says, then the woman would always face dire consequences back in the old days. And so, what people grow up seeing and what they attach to is what they become.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So man, what do you think because I've heard different stories, man. I've heard people be talking, amongst themselves, and I hear somebody say, man, if I can't have her, ain't nobody gonna have her. I just back up and be like, all right, man, I'm out of here, peace. Cause I don't be want to hear nothing like that, bro. Cause that's kind of really saying, man, you gonna risk it all, you gonna give up everything because you want to move on, or like what type of mental capacity do you have right now? Like, if you can't have, ain't nobody else gonna have it, man. Those are words that a lot of men that say that they stand by. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then if he tells her that, and he has told her that over a period of time, then some oh man, he ain't gonna do nothing. He just talking. He in his feelings. No, he's not just talking. He's not just he's in his feelings, but he's just not talking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really just tell somebody that. That's not something that you say to somebody every day. You know what I mean?
No. And that's a red flag that I've always said was, if a man tell you, if I can't have you, nobody can, you better run and hide quick. You better get up out of there quick, because a man is telling you when he says, if I can't have you, nobody can. He's telling you one or three things. He's either telling you, I'm gonna kill you before you leave, I'm gonna kill myself before I leave, or I'm gonna kill him and you before I leave, or whatever. So it's three things that can happen in that scenario, depending on how crazy his level of craziness. He gonna kill himself, he gonna kill you, he gonna kill you and him, or he gonna kill all three of us. All three of us gonna get up out of here.
Yeah.
So basically, and more often than not, it's gonna either be him or you or whatever. Because most men in them situations, a lot of times they coward, and they ain't gonna really even deal with the man, because they too cowards to even confront the man in those situations. So they're gonna more deal with the woman and do something to her or whatever than anything else. So, but yeah, like I said, I wouldn't believe that would have been the top 10 thing. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back here on 95 South TV. All right, we back here at 95 South TV. We were talking about mental health and the impact that it has in our lives. So next we're gonna get into this whole what happened in New Orleans. And now I'm gonna say this: they saying it had something to do with these guys were representatives of ISIS. I'm not really a big. I'm not. I don't a studier of ISIS. I don't really understand the whole thing of the ISIS, because I really thought ISIS was more like what they were saying. The ISIS was what the whole program was, or as far as what the setup was to get people up out of here that's illegal aliens or whatever. I didn't really necessarily um um I didn't really understand that ISIS was the people that's involved in the group that's they saying is part of this group that took these people out. You know what I'm saying? That unalive these people in New Orleans. I hate that, but that's a whole that's
But
personal. Hey.
But I can't. ISIS is a governmental system that America contact, like say when they had the MS-13 people, doing all these wars against American gangs. They contacted ISIS because ISIS worked closely with immigration as well, and they work closely with the FBI and and the big governmental systems like the U.S. Marshals and the CIA, and the FBI, the United States Border Patrol, and people like that. But I don't know, man. It's like a lot of stuff promised a lot of people. If 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 46 got back in the chair, you know what I'm saying? People promised a lot that was going with America, and they still promising it. So I don't really know what type of beef he have with the current allies that we had, or what has happened, or what type of bills he's passed. Because I know, man, he on a tear about this immigration, and he on a tear about so stopping other people money that they're getting from the U.S. can result in a lot of different things. You know what I mean? If they been, especially if their government been getting money from the U.S. for the last 50, 60 years. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so, but ISIS, man, I can't say I understand it all the way, but I can say a lot of stuff don't look good right now, man. You know, we are considered as the most greatest country in the world, but if you look at the other countries, man, we're last in education, we last in we last when it comes to having homeless people on the street. We last when it comes to having research done on the food, because the other countries don't have any preservatives in their food. So America, when it comes to other countries, America is last in a lot of things that will help the American people. But first in when it comes to saving somebody else's government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, man. And the thing about it is I'm trying to understand because people just trying to understand what was the whole motive behind this. You run up on a sidewalk, basically, or on an area that a lot of people walking. They're supposed to be blocked off for tourists to be able to move around. You get around those barricades or whatever, and then this is what I'm trying to figure out. How you run over 14 people? I'm like, how fast? Because you can't. He couldn't have been going but so fast in that area. How you end up running over 14 people? That's what I'm trying to figure out in a truck. I could see it was like a combat truck, one of the ones that have the cannon thing on it. I could see if it was something like that, a tanker, like a tanker. I could see it was a tank. I could see maybe that because even if you hit something, you can keep moving. But a pickup truck, how you hit 14 people in a pickup truck? It seemed like once you hit the first one or two people, it seemed like it would have slowed the truck down. That's what I'm trying to figure this out. Like I haven't seen any video footage on what happened, and that's another thing. You gonna tell me now? You tell me, have you seen the video footage of the people getting hit?
I haven't.
Okay, so that right there, that's a red flag to me right there. You gonna tell me in one of the busiest cities in America, during the Super Bowl weekend, I mean during the playoff week, college football weekend, there was no cameras in that area showing what happened. You gonna tell me downtown, in the middle of downtown New Orleans, there's no cameras showing what happened? So to me, right there doesn't make any sense to me right there.
So
So
so so I haven't been downtown New Orleans. That's a spot I haven't been to. Well, I said I wanted to visit too. So, but from what I see, news and stuff like that, and different events there, man, it's a really, really, really busy place. So, with you saying there's no cameras nowhere, in the places that busy, it just seems like something was staged.
yeah, that's what and I'm not one for conspiracy theories all the time. I'm just one of the people when something don't make sense, don't add up, it has something else behind it. Because like I said, I was down in New Orleans last year briefly for a few hours walking around. And if you see the setup of New Orleans downtown area, you could kind of tell they got it set up for people to walk around because that's what they said. They keep talking about these things that I guess wasn't properly in place, that wasn't that was, I guess, they were still, I forgot what they called them, whatever, but they get basically like barricades. They were supposed to keep people from driving in those areas, and this person was able to drive around it, and they literally had a cop sitting in that area in a cop car to keep people from driving around it, even though they probably don't expect people to even try to drive around it because it is barricaded. It's like if you're using common sense, I can't go down this road because of these barricades or whatever. So at the end of the day, so to me, one, the guy had to study it to understand. So he had to understand those barricades wasn't set up right. You know what I'm saying? Two, it didn't make any sense. My whole thing is the camera situation. Because when you're walking around in that area, you could tell it's set up for people to walk around, and there's no cameras that show what happened to these 14 people getting hit. I don't get it. I don't understand how that many people get hit. Really, more than that, in a pickup truck, and nobody captures it on camera, and nobody sees it on camera. To me, I felt like they're hiding something. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, because it's too much. It's too much going on with the situation. And I'm gonna say this before we go to another break. I was in an Uber about a month or so ago. The guy that was driving my Uber, he was an ex-ISIS agent. He said he was FBI and ex-ISIS. And he was telling me, he said basically ISIS is really more of a deterrent or setup. It's not really to stop anything. He said, be honest with you, he said when they capture people and through ISIS, they eventually end up letting them go. They don't necessarily send them back to their country or all this stuff like they make it look like. He said eventually they capture these people, they hold them, they detain them for a few months, and they end up letting them go. Back, you know what I'm saying? He said, so basically, he said ISIS really is some BS. And he was agent for ISIS, I think he told me, for like 12 years or something like that, or whatever. I know between that and maybe FBI, but I think on all he did like 23 years. But he was retired from ISIS and being, I think, an FBI agent or whatever. So I'm just like, oh wow, you know what I mean? So, and this comes from somebody who actually worked with them. So it baffled me. It didn't really surprise me because I don't trust anything with the government anyway. So nothing with the government ever surprised me, especially on the bad side. So it don't surprise me. But anyway, we're gonna take another quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we back here on 95 South TV.
So Icon, I do have something that I want to talk about. I want to talk about a man that we know about him, but we actually don't know what he's been doing since he been home. So we're gonna talk about Freeway Rick Ross.
Okay.
Now, did a long time in prison. Came home in 2009. I was able to interview him on with my man DJ Black Caesar out of Shannon, Mississippi, on his radio show, the DJ Black Caesar show. And I remember him saying that at the height of his career, when he was, in that lifestyle, that he would make anywhere from $1 million to $3 million a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I also remember him saying that they started off hustling because they only just wanted to have them a dope old school.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about the money. So you go from just wanting to have a really dope old school to making $1 to $3 million a day.
Mm-hmm.
In controlling the freeway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Freeway Rick Ross just want to have a dope old school.
Yeah, that's what they mentioned. They was hustling so they can get a dope old school. You know what I mean? It wasn't intended for them to blow up like they did. Because I just seen him recently do an interview. He said that was never the intent, man. He said, but it just came so quick and in such a high demand, man, to he said when they first made their $100,000, his cousin like, oh man, this enough. He's like, nah, it ain't enough. He said he was the one who always wanted more. But his family members that was involved, they wanted to quit.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make it sound be even better for the young brother, for the guy, for Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross. Because when you say dope old school, like, oh Lord, that's all black folks want. That wasn't even the real reason why he did it. The real reason why he did it because he was a tennis player, and the tennis lessons were expensive, and he needed the money to play tennis. So he started selling a little drugs on the side for his tennis lessons. And then to something bigger. So I don't want people to think that he did it for some old school. No, he did it. He might have just all he wanted was an old school as far as like materialistic stuff once he started getting the bread. But the initial intent was to play for his tennis lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That too. I did forget about. But and then I said, man. So he had the lawsuit with the rapper Rick Ross, and he lost. You know what I mean? But a judge told him that he could have won, but his paperwork wasn't right. You know, from his paperwork from behind the wall wasn't right. You know what I mean? And so then you know he come out, man. He started a record label, restaurant, nonprofit,
weed dispensary,
a hemp farm. You know, he have his own, you know, CDBR system. You know, and man, like he's growing, man. Like I was just reading, it was like the partnership of Freeway Rick Ross and Mike Tyson when it comes to the hemp farm and stuff like that, and how those guys make $400,000 a month just off the hemp farm. You know what I mean? And they was like, oh, Mike, they like this Paul fight, you know, yeah, he gave Mike some money, but man, Mike always making money. You know what I mean? They was like, so my thing, the reason why I brought up Freeway Rick Ross, yeah, he's a well-known figure when it comes to crime and stuff like that, man. But do you know how focused you got to be to come out and start 7, 8 businesses?
Yeah.
Like that don't happen when somebody go behind the wall, man. That really don't happen. So to really start that many businesses, man, and to stay from behind the wall and have, you know, one of the best publicists in LA. People, what a lot of people don't know, Rick Ross had the same publicist as Nipsey and Quick and a lot of people, man. A chick by the name of Tiffany Gaines. I spoke to her a couple times. You know what I mean? Back in the day, I spoke to her a couple times. You know, she has a whole lot going on. I even tried to get her on 95 South TV, but she said that, you know, she booked up for interviews until October 2026.
Good Lord.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. So she when it comes to that, the music business behind the scenes and how she runs it, man. She bad. She bad, man. You know what I'm saying? She really bad. So when it comes, you hear young people that might go in the box. Say they go in the box when they're 18, they come out when they're 26, and they say the system won't let me get no job. What are your thoughts? Because not only we talking about Freeway, but you actually know people that you grew up with that came out from the wall from doing a long time and are living just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I know people. I know somebody who got their own transportation business in North Carolina. I know we both interviewed somebody on this show who got a lot going on for himself. And it was when it comes to transportation, he was doing the scooters. He do Amazon, Uber and Lyft, doing all kinds of different transportation or whatever, and making money. I know we know another guy who do selling the funnel cakes. He got a thrift store, kind of whatever in North Carolina, back home. So I know several people who went and did 5, 10 years, whatever, in prison, The one guy we talking about with transportation, he did 25 years, came out and getting money, probably making 6 figures right now. And you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So at the end of the day, I don't want that whole thing. I can't find a job. You know what I'm saying? You may not can necessarily find a job per se, but you can find a way to make money legally. It's ways you can do it. And a lot of places will programs and places will still hire you as a convicted felon, you know what I'm saying, on certain levels. You just got to get up and figure it out and go out there and get it. And if you got to start off, I'll tell you like this. When I used to manage Wendy's years ago, and I don't know how it is now, when I used to manage Wendy's years ago, they only did a background check if you told them that you was a felon. So if you put down, you wasn't a felon, and you know, of course, they may find out later on, but by that time you done made your money. So what no harm, no foul at that point. So let's just say you don't put down you're not a felon. They're not gonna do a background check because they don't want to spend the money. And then I'm saying, and then so you end up getting a job. Let's say you work there 6 months to a year. They figure it out a year later. At that point, at least you done got yourself back on your feet and moving and working a little bit. Where if you did lose your job, at least you're making some kind of money before that happens. So you just got to figure. Sometimes you might have to. Hell, you've been dishonest, or you've been doing other crimes and did worse stuff to get where you was put yourself in prison. So why be truthful now if you don't have to be? So, you know, especially if they're not doing background checks, like, you know, certain jobs like security, things you might not be able to get. And you might, in some places, you might even be able to do security. Like, you got some places, like, let's just say you walked into a strip club and they need extra security. They might not do no background check for doing security at a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, they might not. You know what I mean? They might just hire you right there on the spot. I don't know. It's just, it's always ways, a way around things to get jobs. And you always got companies and people who are going to hire you they might be ex-cons. And they looking to help out an ex-con by giving you a job. So all this, you can't find a job. And it's even worse when you hear people that don't have a record. They can't find a job. That's BS. Because I'm going to say like this. My daughter, she done had about 20-something jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I already know. If anybody can, if she can keep getting jobs, anybody can find a job somewhere. Amazon always hiring. FedEx always hiring. Somebody's always hiring. Security companies always hiring, especially if you don't have no record. So I don't never want to hear that.
Right. So I come with that being said, man, there's always be some type of push, because I know a guy that all I ever seen him do was detail cars. Yeah, he did some prison time, but all I see him detail cars. And people, and man, listen, there's so many people that come to him to detail their car because he's so good at what he do, man. You know, I mean, just whatever you have, man, you can have a helicopter. He'll still detail it.
Yep. And that's jobs like that. They not doing background check, no detail. Most of these little mom and pop retail shops, I bet you most of them ain't doing background checks. You know what I'm saying? Barber shops, they not doing that. So a lot of these places not doing checks.
Yeah, man. He bought him a little steel building for his office, you know, for all his paperwork and stuff like that. And then, you know, he got a spot, you know, right outside the steel building where he detailed all the cars and trucks, man. And you know, I just seen him to keep that money flowing. You know what I mean? Whatever you need. And man, people don't know, man. People who detail cars make a lot of money, bro.
Oh yeah. Definitely. If you get you a nice little clientele going, you know what I'm saying? Get you a few clients, or even get you a contract with like, let's say, a dealership or a company where you can wash all their cars on a basis. Then you can definitely make some money doing that, man. You know, that's, man. So we're gonna take one quick break, right back to 95 South TV. We're back 95 South TV. But like you were saying, Rick Ross, the Freeway Rick Ross came out and made something of himself. And he was, in the crazy part, he had to teach himself how to read and write when he went to prison, because he didn't know how to read and write and he was able to get his time overturned to be able to make some of the moves that he's making now and all that kind of stuff. So, and you know, of course, he was in the record business back then. but he said that he didn't understand it. He just gave $1,000 for record for it was an R&B singer. I think Anita Baker. So the guy, I guess the guy they was behind Anita Baker, whoever he gave the money to, and the album, I guess it did pretty good, but for whatever reason, he never got a return from it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like her first album or second album she put out at that time, and he never seen from paid off for the record.
Okay.
You know, so I didn't understand the business, so I just gave him the money with no paperwork or nothing. So he's like, at this point, he said at this point he basically saying he should be getting probably he should be getting probably some kind of residual or some kind of royalties off of the album too. He was the one that put up the money for them to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right. He would probably get royalties off of Anita Baker music. You know what I'm saying? You know, or at least off that one album. And like I said, he didn't understand the business. So that's one thing about you know, we both know in the music in the entertainment business, you better have your paperwork right. Like my daughter was like, she had an opportunity to go and talk to some people about being on a team. She had all these ideas for movie, television, and all this stuff. And he was like, well, let's set up a meeting, sit down and talk about it. And I said, well, if you go to this meeting and they don't set up an NDA where whatever you tell them in that meeting about ideas or whatever, and they don't set up an NDA at the beginning of the meeting, don't do it. I said, because you go in there, you walk in and tell them all your ideas about a movie or a television show, then later on they use it, but you don't have no paperwork, you can do. They just stole your idea because you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't go in with no kind of paperwork saying that they couldn't discuss what you talking about outside that meeting.
Yeah, definitely need a non-disclosure agreement. You know, for sure. Yes. So, Icon, last but not least, man, you know, country music doesn't want Beyonce. Country music, you know, won't let her in. Even though she got Billboard Country Music Artist of the Year. We all know Jay-Z paid for that. You know what I'm saying? We all know she charted Billboards off of marketing money, not because people wanted her. And so why do you think it is so plain to see that country music don't want her in? I mean, I got my thoughts on it. When I first seen her video, when she had her buttocks out in the video singing a country song, I said to myself, that ain't gonna go well.
Well, because like I told you, when we talked about this, and I said that country music is not based off of sexuality. Country music is more based off of your story and having a good time and having fun or whatever. And she with the twerking and all the other stuff, and then at the same time, she's already a superpower on her own. And they have their Reba McEntires, they have their I wouldn't say Taylor Swift because I think she's more like pop music. But they have they already have their people that they in love with, and they don't want to have this black girl come in and what they're already controlled. They already control and have it on lock on. So, you know, I think the reason why the one guy blew up the big as he did because I know for a time I don't think they knew he was black. The one that gets on the guy Shabuski, whatever his name is. I don't think they knew he was black at first. You know, and by the time they realized it, the song had blew up. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So
well, man, you know they let K Michelle in country music, but the difference between Beyonce and K Michelle is K Michelle was down there in Nashville working with them people, writing songs for them people, you know, for years. And then when the rapper turned country singer Jelly Roll got into country music, you know, he was one of her writers, and he told her that he wanted her to feature on the song. And when she featured on the song was a hit single. And here you see K Michelle at the Country Music Awards, and people giving her a standing ovation. It's about how you do it. When you're crossing over to another genre where you know it's not that many people that look like you in it, it's still about how you do it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's still about how you do it. And K Michelle did it right. So, you know, and there's a lot of people that you will never see that write for country music. Just like if we know anything about Jamie Foxx, we know that Jamie Foxx was a part of the tribute to George Strait. You know what I mean? One of George Strait most famous songs, "So in Love." You know what I mean? And like, and he was like, I've been dealing with Jamie since Jamie was 21 years old. Man, he's written songs for me. He's played chords for me. He's even sent me some country music beat samples over. You know what I mean? So it's still all about how you do it, man. Like T-Pain write for country artists. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people that write for country artists, but you know, they don't really want to be in that genre. They just want to work with them. It's like a lot of people you may see, just like Tim McGraw don't want to be a rapper. He just enjoyed working with Nelly. Florida Georgia Line don't want to cross over into the hip hop culture, but they want to work with people in hip hop like Nelly and Ludacris. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just don't try to go in a whole nother genre and try to take it over. You know what I mean?
And I think that was the problem too. Was like you said, K. Michelle went and worked with other artists in that genre, where like Beyonce just came and tried to do it on her own instead of saying, you know what, let me get one of these country artists, kind of like how Nelly did, or people did, and like, you know, work with them and whatever it be, then try to come in and like, you know, she, you know, and try to do something like that. Like you come in, you find somebody, you connect yourself, like when Jay-Z went and did the song with that group, that rock years ago, or like back in the day with Run DMC when they did their stuff with Aerosmith, all that. You know what I mean? So yeah, what you do, you find somebody that's already connected. That's no different than when people say you going to, when rappers say you come to my city, you gotta check in. That's that way of checking in. So you're gonna come to our world, check in with somebody in this world, and then you come in and you kind of figure out how to work with it. I'm say this with gospel music. I seen Dietrich Hatton on an interview on Breakfast Club a few months back, and they was asking him, I think it was Dietrich Hatton, they was asking him, do you mind working with artists? It was either Dietrich Hatton or it might be Kirk Franklin.
No, Dietrich, I seen the interview.
But he was basically saying, do you mind working with rap artists? He said, I don't mind doing song with rap artists, but don't do it in the thing of like, wait, get in trouble, and then like, or you about to fall off, or you get into some mess, and then you do a gospel song to get people back on your side, and then you walk away, you go back doing what you was doing before. He was like, so if you're going to be genuine about it, he said, if you're not going to be genuine about doing a gospel song or doing gospel music, then don't come over here and just use God and use our music to help you get out of your troubles. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of the same. So everybody has their own rules and regulations when it comes to their side of the music or whatever, and the way you approach it, the way you treat it. And I just feel like Beyonce, it's a couple of things that's against her. One, she's too big for them to let her come over there and take the country. And two, she didn't, like you said, she didn't go about it the right way as far as going over there to be accepted. She just thought, oh, I'm Beyonce, I can do whatever I want, but not in that world you can't. And then maybe they didn't look at what she was doing was authentic for country, because country got a lot of soul in it too. That's the thing about country. Country music got a lot of soul in it. So when you do country music, it ain't just about having a good time. It's country music, a lot of times it's about exposing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's to me, the best country songs to me is the ones when a person really talking about, like, yeah, I'm sitting around drinking my beer, my whiskey, and my girl left me, blah, blah, blah. So country and blues, R&B, they all got a connection to each other. It's just the sound is different. You know what I'm saying? Technically, like from a sound or whatever, it's different sound. It's a different sound, but it's all in the same world when it comes to pouring your soul out.
Storytelling. Yeah,
exactly. Storytelling. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. That she came in and like, I'm just gonna play with it, have fun with it, and not understanding. Okay, did you connect yourself with anybody? Did you at least do a remix with somebody in that world or something? I'm saying, if you're gonna come over there and do something, but don't just do what you're doing and just think it's gonna be okay and you're gonna win all these awards, and you got Jay-Z campaigning and everybody campaigning saying you should have won album of the year, song of the year, and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So no, that's how it works. But, like I said, man, it is what it is. Like, she learned. Sometimes the black entertainers learn that at some point they're gonna show you that you're still black, and they were.
That's right. Yeah.
They gonna show you still a nigga to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, end of the day, we don't care how big you are, how much we love your music. When you step over that line, we're gonna put you back in your place.
That's right.
So, like I said, man. Anyway, man, great show, great first show of top of the year. We gonna get it. Like I said, we're gonna get back into some more topics, some more major stuff this year. Working on some major plans. You know what I'm saying, as a network and what we got going on. Follow us on YouTube on our new. We had to rename the channel 95 South Network. So follow us on there. It's a reason why we'll tell people later on the reason why we changed it. But you know what I'm saying, y'all see very soon. But everybody have a blessed and wonderful day. And see y'all tonight, 91.9 Sports. We will have an episode later on tonight. See y'all then.
Peace.
Peace.
Brown skin girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind. The girl, she